Laura here, nice of you to join me, and a very warm welcome to my channel. It's lovely to have you here with me today. We're on part 4 of the Exploding Box and Folio album project that we've been doing recently on the channel. And in this video we are going to be looking and making our inside folders for our file box that goes in our exploding box. So I've gone ahead and made 3 already. You can fit around 4 in here, but you could maybe put 5 in if you wanted to squeeze them in, but 4 is an ample amount. So I've done 2 different sorts. So I've done the ones where I've just rounded the edges on either side, and on these ones I've actually stuck, well, that one hasn't stuck down, but I have stuck the bottom flap down. You don't have to, you can keep that open and have them the photo mat opening from each side. It looks nice either way. I did do that in my other exploding box one. If I just get it and show you, then I'll show you what I mean. So in this one I kept them open, but I did shut this part off at the bottom. I did glue that part down, but you don't have to. You can have it open if you want to. So as you can see, these are a slightly different size. Now the reason being is because I had to rejig the measurements for the album, so that consequently meant I had to rejig all my measurements for the box and then for the file folder, because I needed to add another ½ inch of board of height to the exploding box to fit my album in. Because I did the extendable hinge where you're at your pages lie flat, I didn't, in my previous project I hadn't allowed for that, so I had to make a bit of an allowance for that, which I did here. So you can see it's sitting quite nicely in there, whereas this one is very, very snug. If you can see here, it's very snug, whereas this is more, you can probably put a lot more in that. So that's why there's different sizes. So I've did 2 different lots. So I've done one where I've just used my corner rounder and rounded the edges, and then one where I used the Cool Cats dies, the border dies, to create that lovely effect, a border, which then goes with the album. So before we get into it and I give you the measurements, a little bit of housekeeping. First of all, there is a PDF cutting guide that accompanies this that will be linked in the description box down below. So if you want to cut this out before you watch the video, then head down to that link down there in the description box. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It really does help my channel grow, and if you do, if you kindly hit that notification bell as well, all that means is that every time I upload a new video, you will be notified, so you will be one of the first to see my live videos. So I'm using the Minte papers, Merry Little Christmas, and these ones I got from a lovely craft shop called 14 Craft Bar in Ireland. I was there earlier in the year doing a retreat, which thoroughly enjoyed. So I'm using those papers there, and I've gone ahead and I've papered my box. Now the video number 3, or part 3, I'll put a little link up there, an iCard there, so that you can pop over to that one. It shows you how to make the box for the file folder, and so you'll be able to go ahead and look at that first. But today we're just going ahead with the little files themselves. And then these are the measurements. I will put the measurements on screen. If you can, if you pause that screen, you then be able to write them all down, which will make it easier if you haven't got a printer at home. So for the files themselves, you will need to cut a part A and a part B. So part A is 8.5 by 6.5, and part B is 4 3/4 by 7. So I'm just going to cut mine quickly. Okay, now with that you will need to maybe make 4 of those, so you'll have to do 4 of the part A and 4 of part B. Now part B, you will be able to get that out of one, so you'll be able to get 2 part B's out of 1 cardstock. So bringing in your part A, we need to now score them. So with your longest measurements down the side of your trimmer, you need to score this at 1.5 on both of those sides. So turn it round 180 degrees and then score it again. So you've got 2 scores either end, like so. Okay, bringing in your part B, we're going to score this on, again with the longest measurement down the side of your trimmer. We're going to score this on each of those ends at 1/2 inch. So turn it again and score it, turn it again 180 and then score it again at 1/2 inch, like so. You can get rid of your trimmer now because that's out of the way for a moment. So score all them lines down and bring in your Teflon tool. There we go. And just, there we go, score them down. Now you can do this either one or 2 ways. Now you can place your glue tabs behind. If you do it that way, you will need to cut a minute piece of this card out. Okay, and you will notice that it is slightly smaller than the card. That's meant to be. That's so that you've got a bit of an opening where you can then grab your photo mat that's inside. But I'm going to put them on the top here. I'm going to put my pieces so that they are on the top of this card here, so that this opens out. So I'm just going to use some glue because I've got that handy, but you can use double-sided tape. That would work brilliantly as well. You just unclog it. There we are. I think that's done. I think I might need a new pin. That one is a bit gluey. Okay, so we're going to line this up with the bottom score line and the side of your part A. Okay, and then just push them down so that you get a nice burnish. And the good thing about this glue that I'm using, which is Sticks 2, it's their 3D PVA, it does stick really quickly. So bring it over and then put your glue on this next glue tab and then bring that over and then just push that down so that you've got a slight bow. Okay, there we are. That will just help with getting your things in and out. There we are. And then this is going to go over the top and this is going to come over there like so, so it will hide this bottom edge. Now again, if you want to leave this part open, you can, so that you can have it either way, or you can just shut it over like so. I might leave this one actually because I've shut the other ones off. Now I'm using a crocodile, a 1/4 inch punch, just to, sorry, 1/4 inch corner rounder, just to round those flat edges, corners. But again, if you want to use a border die, you can do. And I've got a tutorial for a something to do with how to do that. I think it's on part 2 I show you how to use your bordered dies. So once you've done that, we need to put our holes in so that we can put our false folio circles on. So getting your ruler and a pencil, which I can never find. So getting your pen, so this is 6 inches, so I'm going to mark that at 3, and then I'm going, because this is 1.5, I think this is at 3/4. So to get the middle, it's at a 3/4 mark. So push that in like so. Do the same with this one. Now if you're doing this all together, what I suggest you to do would be to make yourself up a template. That way you don't have to keep measuring all the time. So all I would do would be cut a strip of your cardstock at this is 6 inches, or this is 6, and this might be 6 3/4. No, this is 6 inches. So cut it at 6 inches by 1.5, and then measure your center part, and then you can then cut a hole in. Failing that, what you could do is go from corner to corner, draw a small pencil line in the middle, corner to corner, draw a small pencil line again in the middle, and then that there would be where you would put your hole in the center of where those two lines can join. So that's another easy option for you. So once you've done that, it really is your file folder done. So we can go ahead and cover it. So all we need to do now is cover this and add our faux closures on. So for the pattern paper, for the flaps here, you will need to cut quite a few. To however many of these you make, you will need to cut that many. And if you're having this left over, you'll need to cover that as well. Sorry, not left over. If you're going to have that left open, you'll need to cover that as well. If you're going to have it closed, then you won't need to. Another option is to just close it at the sides, and then you've got a pocket there as well. So that's another option, which I might do with this. So for that, the flaps, you will need to cut your pattern paper at 1 3/8 by 5 7/8. The middle and the back, the middle is 5 7/8 by 4 5/8, and the back is 5 3/8 by 5 7/8. Okay, so that's those file ones. So I'm going to go ahead and just cover this, and then we can move on to decorating and adding our Okay, so I've covered mine now, but before we put our covers on to the back of our flap, we need to add our faux closures. So bring in your little closures that you've got. Now I put two cardstock pieces of your circles, your faux closures, and then just one of the patterned paper on the top. Just add a tiny bit of glue. I don't like to add too much because otherwise it does slip about. Get your brads and push in the middle. And then you can use your pokey tool just to poke through that hole that you made earlier. Put your brad legs through and then open them out so that they are closed on the back, like so. Add a bit of your foundation tape on the back there, like so, and then do the same with this one here. Just poke that hole through. There we are. Add your faux closure. Like so. Then add your brad through the middle. There we go. Just get it centralised. And then open those legs out. Sometimes I do bang them a little flatter. Like so. There we go. Now if you want to, you can add that as a pocket, and then you can have some other little photo things in there if you want to. I might leave it open actually because I like that image on there, so I'm going to leave that open. So I need to round these corners at the 1/4 inch rounder, like so. Then push them on like so. So that's one, and then the next one is at the top. I did forget to mention, when you do this, make sure that the larger opening part is your top bit and not down here, because we want that one to go virtually to the bottom of that score line. This one's got that opening, so that allows you to get in and out. So that is that. So the photo mat inside is going to measure 5 3/4, and we're going to go right to the top, by 5 1/4. So let's cut that out. So 5 3/4 by 5 1/4. Like so. Let me just check that's a nice size. Yes, that fits in there just perfect. Okay, so you can round these corners and then just add your pattern paper, and you can also add the white card at the back for you to put your photos on if you want to. So let's just get my 6x6 pad, and I'm going to have this nice image on the front, and that can go there. So 5 5/8 will be the long one, so getting that right. So put your cardstock in this way, so 5 5/8 by 5 1/8. There we are. That's not too much cut off it. Round your corners. Now you can add your glitter border around, which I might do with this because I haven't added any glitter onto the file folders, so you could do that if you wanted. So I'll get mine out. Just run it along that edge, right along the edge of the paper. go. It just gives a small little sparkle. I think it's going to... You can just about see it sparkling there. The glue. And then this can go on here, then it should be the right size. Yes. Just take that off. Moving it so that it's nice and level. There we are. So then that can go in here like so. And then when you put your wax cotton around, that will just close that up. So I am going to add the white card to the back of that in just a second. And take your scissors and just trim off that excess tail. And then bring it round. Chop a bit off so that you've got enough there to put your little tassel on. So in we go. There we are. Take that off. And then that is your file folder finished. We just have to add that white card on the back there. So that would be 5 5/8 by 5 1/8. I remembered this time. So just a little bit short for a 6 by 4, but you could get a 3 by 4 on there. So let me just cut out a black piece for 3 by 4. So that would be your 3 by 4 photo. So you could put your 3 by 4 photo on there, and then you've got some spots there for journaling. So I might just stick this on actually. So that looks quite a nice sort of thing, then you know that that's where a photo goes. So I'm going to add the glue. Like so. And then what I'm going to do is bring out my stamp and say 3 by 4. That's my most used one. 3 by 4. Oh, hold on 1 second. So pop that on. I'm going to use some StazOn. I love the smell of StazOn. It smells like marzipan. Okay. Then you can just pop this on. Make sure you pop it on the right way. And you can just pop that there. Like so. And take it off. Now my StazOn was obviously a little bit dry, but I'll have a go again of trying to realign it. That's the beauty with clear stamps, is you can do that. But if you're using a photo stamp platform, that's even better. I just couldn't be bothered to get mine out. So then people know that that's where they can put a 3x4 photo over there, like so. There, we can push that in there, and they can also put one on this side and have it there. So you could maybe get like a little sticky note or a post-it note and just put then your photo. I have got some. Yeah, I bought these clear ones, and I thought they would be ideal just to put in your albums. You could even cut this in half, and you don't need to use the whole sheet then. So that way you're getting more for your money, if you know what I mean. So you can just use like half of one and put it there, and then just stamp your image on. But I'm not going to stamp it on there because I know what I'm like. I'll end up stamping the paper. Okay, so I'm going to put it this. I'm going to have to put it this way. This is the way it will fit. So take that off, dry it, and then you can put it on there like so, and then this comes off. So how clever is that? I think they're so clever. I'll put a link to where I got these in the description box down below. They're just clear, like vellum sticky notes. They just are so clever. They really are. And it's removable as well, so that it's like it is like a sticky note, so they do come off. So that can then go in to your folder. Shut that up. And then close that over, and then that goes into your box like so. So, and I said, as I said, you've got enough room in there to maybe put about 4 in. So I've only got 3. I thought I had 4. I have got 4 in like so. And then that it gives you enough space then also to put your photos and bits in as well. So push that down and then close that over, and then that goes into your box like so. Okay, so we've now finished the inside and the file box folder. So we're going to start now on the outside of our box and decorate that and put our spine handle on, and then we can put our book dangle on as well. So for this you will need to cut your paper at 6 5/8 by 6 1/8. So that's your front and back. Then your spine, I normally put 2, I do a black layer and then your pattern paper. So your black layer will be 6 1/8 by 1 7/8. So 6 1/8 by 1 7/8. That would be your black layer, and then your pattern paper for the top would be 6 by 1 3/4. Don't stick that one on yet, okay? And then these will be the same. So this would be your 6 1/8 by, I think that was 1 7/8. Yes, 1 7/8. But that would be your pattern paper. So you'll need to cut 2, 4, 5. So 4 of these out of your pattern paper, 1 out of cardstock, and then 1 out of pattern paper, which is the slightly smaller size. What I'm going to use, I'm using the 12 by 12 one, and I'm going to use this one here, I think I'm going to use that one because I want that to be on the front of my book, and it is, so that's nice. So that's going to be my 6 5/8. So 6 5/8 brings it to there. So I'm just going to cut a little bit off this side, like so. Let me bring this in, and I'm just cutting this bit off, turn it around, and then 6 5/8. I wanted this truck in, so I've just trimmed off that little bit there. So go up like so, and then it's going to be by 1/8. So let me just chop that bottom bit off, because that's the writing on the bottom. We don't want that. So then this is 6 1/8, which gives me a nice image on the front there. So you can then go around and do your spine. So you could carry that on and do the spine that way, and then take the rest onto the back, which is what I'm going to do. So my spine was going to be 1 3/4. Let me chop that little bit off there again. So 1 3/4. So by 6 1/8. No, sorry, by 6. So that would be my spine. And then if you want to, you can just take this little bit round onto the back and paper piece, which is probably what I'll do. That way I'm using up a lot of my paper then. So let's just do that black layer. So that by 1 7/8. Like so. And then that will go on to that like there. Don't stick your spine on just yet, because we need to add our spine handle on there. So finding what I've done with, there we go, this, we can get this stuck on. Now I am going to put some of the glitter around the edges on this one, because this is my outside layer. There we go, so that's the front. It's looking quite nice now. So we can, I'm going to put some glitter around this as well. So like so, and then that can go. That then goes over here like this. There we are. Okay, so to then just put your spine handle in. Now I normally just bi-eye it, and hopefully it normally gets it in the right place. So, and because this is such a small handle, it will be okay. So I've just marked mine, so I'm just going to get my pokey tool and poke my holes through. Like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this one is a bit bigger than I normally use, only for the fact of my big ones are downstairs. My small ones, sorry, are downstairs. So, and this one's got 4 brads in it. So work out where you want your handle to be. These ones are quite easy. I say that because sometimes you've got them where the brad sits like sort of in between the handle part, and others they kind of don't. So that's why I was saying I hope I've got it in the right place. Okay, so once they're on, I'm just going to put a bit of the foundation tape just over those brad legs just to keep them in place. And then they won't fall off or come off. They shouldn't, but this is just another precaution. Okay, I am going to just give them a little tap. So, and then that's the spine handle closure on. It's not a closure, handle. And then that will sit nice and straight on to our spine, and then later on we'll do that little book dangle. I'll get out all my beads and things. Okay, a lot of glue on this because it's got to stick really well. So let's get that in place. Okay, push that down. So then that's the spine. So now coming on to this part, that's going to go there. So we need this bottom part. So this one is at 6 1/8. So that will go on like so. I need a little bit more glue on that corner. So this then goes on to the back. And then we can add either another offcut of paper or some black card. But I think I've got some offcuts that I could use. Oh, near enough the same, but we could go this way. Oh, that's just a tiny bit too short. That's a shame. But this one with the red, well, that would work, but I've got a big gap there. But I could put a nice strip of black down that. We'll do that. Let's take this off. So this is 6 1/8. I'm going to have it coming over this side and then put that black cardstock down that bit, and then what I'll do is I'll put some gems or something over the top of it. So that can go like so. And then I think I will put that at about 1/2 inch. That's probably a bit too much. Go with 1/2 by 6 1/8. So with a 1/2. There we are. That'll fit on there just nice. So let's get the glue onto this bit. There we go. And then I have got some string pearls that I can put either down the centre or I'll use some of my lace, and actually that looks quite nice, just the lace just over it like so. I might have it coming this way. So I use Fabri-Tac for this because I find this is it works the best. Just run a line. Move it up just slightly so it's level with that line. There we are. Then there we are. So chop that bit off, and then if you wanted to, you could run another line just above it like so, just with your string pearls. Would look quite nice as well, but once that dries, that will be stuck and it won't be going anywhere. So that's the back and the front and the spine done. So now we've just got these spines to cut out of our pattern paper, and again you can do it with your offcuts if you've got enough offcuts to use, and then these can go on our spine closures. Now before we put this one and this bottom one on, I want to add some ribbon as a little pull opener. So I just wanted to get this into the middle, so that would be 3 1/8 would be my middle point. So add our glue. So this is just your ribbon. We've all got ribbon in or something in our stash at home, and I'm going to just have it about there. So using some of my foundation tape and some glue to keep that, it will be stuck. Put the glue all the way down and then stick this, it's sort of in the middle like so. I am going to use a bit of double-sided tape as well, if I can find what I've done with it. So I'm just going to put some double-sided tape just over that opening. Take the backing off and then push this down to wherever you want it to be. What length? You don't want it too much because you don't want it to be sticking out too much. So I'm putting another piece of double-sided just over the top of that. It's also had glue, and it's also going to have some foundation tape as well. I'm going to put the foundation tape up as near to that edge as possible because I don't want it to be shut. See, I don't want the foundation tape to show, so I've just put it up there so that it's not, this hasn't got a lot of gap between where the tape is and the loop starts, so that when we close that, we've got this nice little pull tab that we can just pull our spine closed. We can just pull our book open. So let me just put these back in here. Put this in here. So that's that. And that makes it a lot easier to open now. And it's not going anywhere. That's kind of stuck quite rigid now in there. Like so. So we just need to cover this bit now, so I'm going to just stick this one on. Again, you can use your glue or double-sided tape, it is really up to you. Like so. That's one. Now we've got to do the other two. so that then is our book cover covered. So we've just got to add our little embellishments that are going on the front. Now again, remember, don't put too many on, because you want it to be able to slot in and out of your folder, your box. That bit is done. So think about what you're going to do with your cover and how you're going to do it, and then I'm going to just do a quick speed run of decorating this box. But I will put... Now, before you cover your box, you need to paint your edges. I forgot to do that, so that I'm doing mine sort of now. So there are parts that I won't be able to paint, obviously right up to there, but don't forget to paint them. They are just the edges round at the bottom, really, more so than the sides. I'm going to paint, see if I can get just a little bit up. Oh, I can just about do that. But don't forget to do that before you paper. I had a bit of a mishap, so I had to redo my front panel of my box. What happened is I'd put my lid on top of it, and the paint on underneath the lid wasn't dry. Consequently, it then went onto my pattern paper, so hence me redoing it. And then I'm going to put some of my lace on. I think that will just be just to cover that yet again, where I've got a black splodge of paint. And then I'll put something else on there as well, just to cover it. Scissors. Get that as straight as you can. And then I'm going to put a bead of string petals along the top there. Okay, so that's my box now finished, covered, and you should be at the same stage as I'm at now. So we just need to do the lid now. The lid is the last bit that we need to do. So we've got the hole already cut for our handle when that goes on, so we don't need to worry so much about that. But the inside, I'm just going to cover in my black cardstock. But before I forget, let's paint them edges, because I don't want a repeat of what I did with the last one. But this one you will need to paint the corners as well. The measurements for the lid are 4.5 by 6 7/8. That's the lid top. The long sides are 1 3/8 by 6 7/8, and you'll need 2 of those. The short sides are 1 3/8 by 4.5, and you'll also need 2. Now for the inside, The lid is going to be 4 3/8 by 1 3/8. That's the short side. The long side is 6 3/4 by 1 3/8. I'm now going to go on to the inside. Now what you'll need to do before you cover your inside is put your handle on. Now you don't have to, you can put it on afterwards. I just prefer to have the screw hidden, but you can have it open if you want to, because it is a flat headed screw, so it does really work well with making up boxes and things. So I'm going to just cover mine in black cardstock. In there like so. So then that is your lid covered. So hopefully now I can put it on my lid, my box, without getting paint on it. Like so. So then that's my box, that's my lid, and actually having that like so is not too bad. It's quite it's a happy accident really, so I'm pleased with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave that video as it is now, and I will decorate it and then come back with a walkthrough of this album so that you can see what it looks like when it's actually finished and with all the embellishments on. So thanks again for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this project. I know I have. I've really enjoyed it. It's been one of my favourites, I think. So if you would like to buy one of the kits already made, already cut out, ready for you to assemble, then head to Tomorrow Morton Crafts, which will be down here, and head on to it's called the Exploding Box and Album Kit. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, which will be up there somewhere, and that means that you will be able to see when I upload new videos all the time straight into your email box. So that couldn't be easier, so then you don't miss one. Come and follow me on all the social medias. Here I will put a QR code, and that way it goes to a site called Linktree, and all that is just a site with all my social medias on. All my links that I am on the internet are on that page, so you can just click on any of those and it will take you to your favourite social media platform. So wherever you are in the world and whatever you're doing, please have the most amazing day, and I will see you again on the next one. Bye!